Hello, neighbors. How's the world today? Thought I'd do a comment on more in the news. It's a story of a school with nuclear dust coating the school. A specific type of nuclear material that's only created in reactors in some one-off sites across history. Below this article was another article about government agencies downplaying the risk of this. But what I haven't seen in the stories, and I'm only going to provide one link, is the rest of the story. This is a story of radioactive waste coming from local facilities processing these materials and being downwind, either perpetually, so you just get a bit every day, an additive every day of a material that might take 1 billion years to decay, to change into something else. This is radioactive decay, radioisotopes. This is using cesium, striking another type of cesium isotope to make a plutonium atom. That's the mechanics of making a plutonium in the first place. It's not a naturally occurring substance in any abundance at all. Yet here we are. So this school was coated with a dust. It's been coated for how many generations? When was the facility that they were downwind from active or running? That dust has been there that long. One of the tells from that dust is, I mentioned how the plutonium gets created. It's created in commercial nuclear reactors. It's one of the reasons they have to pull the fuel rods, because of high plutonium content. The plutonium also changes the energy balance in the reactors, so they start behaving differently as well. Ask Chernobyl. Ask 3 Mile Island. About changes in reactive qualities of radioactive materials. So, anyway, this school was coated with a dust, a fine dust. For how long? Could have been during demolition of an old building that dust rose up once. But now it's a layer of dust, a layer of plutonium dust. Microscopic amounts dispersed, however it got dispersed, through the air handling systems, through open windows. It's dust in the air, like the haze I can see from fire smoke will eventually settle somewhere, get washed out in the rain, maybe feed energy back into some other systems. Who knows? Someone knows. So this dust, this fine dust in a neighborhood school, means it was more than the neighborhood school. That wasn't a one-off event. It wasn't specific to that location. It might be more or less elsewhere. It might depend on how the wind was blowing that day, how big that plume is. So that plutonium decays into an isotope of lead. That isotope of lead we know how to measure very well in discrete places. Compared to the existing isotopes of plutonium that haven't decayed, that ratio tells a little bit about how much is there. Total quantitative assessment, right? So now this is lead dust across the classrooms. This is deposition physics. calculations tested with real-world events on how dust travels and why we put air filters in air conditioners or in heaters for reasons, right? So that plutonium has decayed into a lead. That lead is fairly stable. But now you have to worry about lead pathways. Lead pathways, and that information's a bit easier to find because we learned from lead paint in houses that children can easily put these materials in their mouth, breathe them into their respiratory system.